Today's video is sponsored by Craftsy. Well, friends, it's been almost a year since I did my fourth iteration of my workspace. I went from working in our bedroom closet to downstairs in my craft room to upstairs in this bedroom. This is a spare room in our home, and if you remember, it was quite cluttered. There wasn't a lot of room for stuff, so I took it upon myself to give it a complete makeover. I emptied everything out of the room, basically sprayed it top to bottom in a beautiful dark bronze paint, and this is what I ended up with. And I absolutely love it. It feels so cozy in here while I'm working. The dark paint and the warm tones of the wood just really work for me. The cats also love to come in and hang out while I'm editing. Now, this does pose one issue. I do have this chair in here that Nacho likes to sit in, but cats love windows, so I very crudely attached these pieces of Nacho's cat tower from when he was a baby to this windowsill. And it's been doing okay for the last few months, but it's time to upgrade this and give them a proper window space. We do have 3 cats now, but these are the 2 that spend the most time in here. And as you can see, Nacho is much bigger than he used to be. So in today's video, I'm going to be recreating, sorry, it's funny watching these videos again. In this video, I'm going to be recreating a custom window seat with cushions for these 2 so that they can hang out with me. This is also going to allow me to remove this chair. I'm going to put it in the guest room that I refinished in a recent video. And we're going to give these guys an awesome spot to sit and look out the window while I'm working. Stay tuned. My name is Angie and I refinish furniture. Sometimes I paint and sometimes I don't, but I always do what I can to save old pieces from the trash. Welcome to my workroom. So let me apologize in advance. Some of this footage is shot with my phone versus my regular camera, and the lighting in here is kind of weird. The room itself is inherently dark, but the window is so bright that sometimes it's hard to get the right exposure. First thing I'm going to do here is remove the old windowsill. I'm going to take some measurements, figure out how long the new one needs to be, and you can see here the way that this is put together. Now, I don't really want to pull this trim apart. This is normally what you would do to replace the windowsill, but I'm going to leave this in place. I'm not going to need this old one, so I'm actually going to both cut and pry it out, leaving those vertical trim pieces intact. This was actually fairly easy to do with just a little saw and a pry bar. A caveat here in watching this video, I clearly have no future as a trim carpenter, but that's okay. This isn't necessarily meant to be a how-to video, this is more of a how I'm doing it video. As you can see as I pull that off, we've got an issue here. This clearly is not what it's supposed to look like. Normally your gyprock or plaster or whatever you have will go up to that windowsill, but this window was replaced at some point and they just didn't bother to fix that part. They had a piece of trim right over it. Now for the sake of time and money, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I don't want to deal with this. We have weird plaster walls with these thick panels that look like concrete. I don't know what it is, but it's not drywall. So for the sake of time and money, I'm actually going to be putting a board over that, and you'll see in a little bit what I'm talking about. I'm going to snap a picture and go to my trusty iPad here just to sort of map out what I was thinking. And originally I was picturing 2 little individual seating areas with maybe a lower one attached to like a scratch post or something. And I would need to put some sort of a brace under each just to make sure it can support the weight of the cats, because it is going to stick out farther than a traditional windowsill. This lower one I pictured kind of sitting on top of a tube, similar to the one I put in the cat condo video with maybe a scratching post. But even though this is my plan, this is going to change slightly and you'll see why. Now I did have a fair bit of plywood scraps left over from another project, so I'm just going to be using these. This board is going to be placed against the wall under the windowsill, kind of covering that mess that was there. Plus it's going to come down a little bit further, and that's going to allow me to screw my brace pieces into the board rather than into the plaster wall, which is good because there weren't studs where they were supposed to be on that wall either. So this is the board I'm going to be making the actual window seats from, and like I said, originally I was picturing these 2 individual spots, but now I'm going to do one large sweeping spot, and the reason for this is I was going through some of my scraps and I found this. Now, this is a solid piece of walnut that has been shaped, and this came from the headboard in the guest room. When we replaced this bed and frame, we didn't really have a use anymore for this headboard because there was no footboard, no rails, so we opted to repurpose it, and I had no idea what I was going to do with this curved piece until now. The gap on the inside is exactly 3/4 of an inch, which is the same size as the plywood that I'm using. So basically what I'm going to do is measure the length that I need, and I'll actually trace out the curve of this, and then this will slide right onto it, and it'll kind of be a nice buffer. The rest of the room has lots of walnut accents. It'll blend right in, and it'll give a nice soft edge rather than having to look at plywood. So first I'm just going to mark out the maximum width that I want, the maximum amount I want it to come out from the window. There is a limit here, both in terms of looks but also space in the room. And then once I have that cut, I'm going to go ahead and trace out this curve. Now you can see that this isn't going to reach the entire way across. That's okay. I'm going to add kind of a little special curve on either side. I just kind of freehanded it until I got exactly the look I wanted. And once I did that, then I actually cut that part out, flipped it over, and used it to trace the exact same curve on the other side. Now, using a jigsaw to cut plywood like this is murder on the top layer of veneer just because of the way the saw moves. As you can see, it's going to chip and flake, and there are ways that you can prevent this. You can cut it upside down so that the saw blade is moving in the right direction and won't chip your top surface. You can use something like painter's tape, draw your line over that, and that will also help. But in this case, I'm actually going to be painting this plywood, so once it's all cut, I can sand it very smooth, and the tear out is not going to matter in this specific situation. Once I have everything smooth, I'm gonna do a test fit here on this walnut piece, and it's like a glove. I actually really like that I saw this and thought, hey, this might be a good sort of border for this plywood. It's gonna enhance the look with kind of a thicker edge, add a little pop of that beautiful walnut wood grain that you guys know I like so much. But it's pretty dinged up, so I'm going to sand this down and smooth it out and refinish it. This piece, though, seemed to have other ideas when it came time to hand sand inside the groove. Ow. Blurred out the nasty bits for you, but you can see here from the aftermath how far in that splinter went. Good times. Once I had that taken care of, I could get back to work, and I'm going to be gluing the walnut strip onto the plywood. Another option would have been to just put a few pins or finishing nails in to attach it, but I opted for glue. This is going to be in place for quite some time, so I had no problems affixing it permanently to the plywood. Once it's in place and even on both sides, I just added a little bit of painter's tape to hold it, and then I was able to clamp it up and set it aside. While that was drying, I went ahead and painted the other board. This is the board that is going to be on the wall underneath the windowsill, covering that gaping hole, and also what my braces are going to screw into, which will help support the weight of the top. And then I went ahead and added the same paint to the windowsill. Now, this is the exact same color as the walls. Everything is going to blend in seamlessly. It's the same paint. I did a couple of coats, just lightly sanding in between. So once all the paint had dried, I'm going to tape off this painted area and add some Odie's oil to the walnut, of course, my favorite. And even though the underside isn't going to be seen and I didn't paint it, I am opting to seal it. I just used the same Odie's oil on the underside. I could have painted it, chose to save the paint because no one's going to see it. Now the last thing I need to do before we bring everything upstairs is make the brace pieces. This is going to give support underneath to hold some of the weight. And I just made these from the scrap pieces from cutting out the windowsill itself. Basically just 3 triangles. The longer side will be up underneath the top, and then the shorter side will screw into that piece that is on the wall. This honestly isn't all that heavy, so this combined with the fact that it's going to be sliding into that opening underneath the vertical trim of the window, that should be enough to hold this. I painted one side and then drilled the holes for the screws, and then painted the other side, let it dry. Now this was just drilling the holes to allow the head of the screw to kind of hide, so I added a little bit of paint in there, and then once I got upstairs I used a handheld drill to drill the actual pilot holes for the screws. YouTube revenue has been way down lately, so one of the ways that I'm still able to keep bringing you videos, even though it's a bit of a struggle right now, is through the occasional sponsored partnership with platforms like Craftsy. Andrew and I are just about to get these braces in place, but I'm only going to take a moment of your time talking about this online resource that I have come to absolutely love. Now, Craftsy is for all things creative, DIY enthusiasts, crafters, makers, artists, and bakers. This is the place to find inspiration, advance your skills, and learn some new ones. They have thousands of classes in many popular categories, and you guys have seen me go through some of them. You watched me create my very first watercolor landscape painting back when I did that 200-year-old table restoration. I watched woodworking videos when I was trying to figure out what to do with the closet in my office. But they also have amazing videos on sewing and quilting, knitting, cooking. If there's ever been something that you've wanted to try but it felt a little bit too advanced or you were just intimidated by it, this platform is going to be great for you because all of the classes are broken down into really easy to follow sections that make it super easy for even beginners. And they're going to walk you through it step by step. I was just browsing their Christmas in July projects and I saw this adorable mitten ornament and all I could think of was, I need to make some that are orange. If all this sounds good to you and you want to experience the satisfaction of creating something one of a kind with your own hands, right now the first 1,000 of you to click the link in the video description below will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49. And this is valid for new members only. Let me know down below if there's something that you've always wanted to try. So this is looking really good. Even if I stopped at this point, I would be happy with it. It gives the cats a nice wide space to jump up and have a seat, lay down. But obviously I want to make it as comfortable as possible for them, so I am going to be adding some cushions. Now I thought about doing one big cushion, but I opted for 3 smaller ones. I just thought it would be easier to clean if anything ever happened and I needed to launder the cases. So just to make things more complicated for myself, I decided to try and notch out around those trim pieces. And I also have to cut the fronts to the curve. So these are going to be custom pillows. I am not a seamstress. Wish me luck. At least I have the businessman here to help out with some of this. So I'm loving how this is turning out. I love the warm wood grain. It looks so nice in here. Like I said, I've got lots of other walnut accents. The gray paint is, you can kind of only see it on the sides, and then these cushions, they're not perfect. They're not perfect, but you know what? They're gonna do the trick. Like I said, this isn't so much of a how-to video as it is a how I did it video. But the real test, honestly, is not what you guys think, it's what these guys think. Thank you so much for watching this custom kitty windowsill run-out. I hope you enjoy this super cute reveal, and I'll see you next time. You're a very purry boy. You're a very purry boy.